It happened. It actually happened. The Apple Watch Ultra 2 and the Series 9 have been removed from apple.com. When I reported on this whole Apple Watch banning right before Christmas, I honestly thought somehow, some way, Apple would have been able to prevent this from happening. But as of right now, every attempt that they have made has failed. This attempt alone was probably a way to try to get the Biden administration to act a little faster. They still have time. The Biden administration could veto what the ITC, the International Trade Commission, has done and allow Apple to continue selling the Apple Watch. Now, if you go to the Apple Store, as long as they have stock, you can still get one before Christmas. So in that case, it's not too late. If you do buy one right now, it will have all the features, everything will work. It just like if you bought it 2 months ago. This ban just stops Apple from importing any Apple Watch or selling any Apple Watch that has this blood oxygen sensor built in and turned on. So if you're still wanting to buy one before Christmas, it may not be too late. Third-party retailers can continue to even sell it after Christmas as long as they still have stock. So there's still chances to get one. Don't panic too much if you're wanting to get one before Christmas. Still a good chance you can get one. You just can no longer get one from apple.com. But the real question is, what is Apple's next step? Well, currently, they really can't do anything because the Biden administration still has until the 25th to vote to veto or just approve the ITC filing. If they say nothing, it's basically just saying they're fine with this happening. And then on the 26th, Apple has already set up a way to start the appeal process with the ITC. But that's not guaranteed, and who knows how long something like that may take to go through all that process. How long is Apple going to be okay with not having their flagship Apple Watches in their stores? My guess would be not long at all, because they're going to want to continue selling. I mean, these watches have so much more than just this blood oxygen sensor. Now, personally, I never use it, but I've heard from a lot of you that you use it all the time for different, like before workouts, after workouts. Pilots use it, apparently. Obviously, people that do climbing, like high mountain climbing and all that stuff, it's a nice feature for them to be able to tell, like, you know, how much this oxygen pressure is affecting them. But still, a lot of us out there don't really care or use this feature. So if Apple was going to disable it for newly imported and sold devices, it probably would be okay and wouldn't really affect sales all that much. However, it's probably not an easy task to complete, because when you buy an Apple Watch, there's obviously Apple Care, so you have so long to activate Apple Care if you do not buy it in the store. So they can tell when a device is activated, but actually telling like when a device has been first sold, because they sell these watches to all these different companies basically. So like Amazon and Best Buys and all these companies that sell the Apple Watch basically kind of pay like a retail price, which is a reduced price for the device. And then those companies make a profit on that portion that they didn't have to pay. So they have to try to keep those in factor plus everything else. I'm not really sure how Apple would be able to do it other than just saying like, hey, you guys have this stretch of time to activate your devices. If these devices are not activated by this time, they will not have this feature. So removing these devices from sale for a week or so would actually kind of help with this process, because during this time, there's a lot of Apple Watch sales that just happened. Even with the announcement, without the announcement, this is the time of giving with Christmas and everything. So people are getting Apple Watches like crazy this next week, maybe even two, because some people don't always get together on Christmas Day itself. So if Apple goes ahead and just kind of halts sell for a couple weeks, and then they make some kind of announcement saying like, okay, you have to activate your device by this date, or this feature is just not going to be on your watch. If they do something like that, I feel like that might be the best bet. I'm sure there will still be class action lawsuits about it, because there will be a big, large group that still doesn't activate the device during this period. And now they don't have this feature, even though technically when they bought it, it was advertised. It's going to happen. Like, I don't know what Apple's going to do other than paying this Massimo company their money that they feel like they deserve. And I've heard from some people that say they've worked with Massimo in the past and they don't trust him no bit. And of course, people don't trust Apple at all. Personally, I lean more towards Apple. I mean, I'm Apple biased. The whole channel is dedicated to the Apple Watch. If you love the Apple Watch and you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. This is all the kind of content I make is about the Apple Watch. And usually positive. Sometimes I push back on the products that they make for the watch, but mostly I agree with Apple. And I definitely agree with Tim Cook. Like, for whatever reason, Apple feels like they're in the right. It could just be that they don't want to set a precedent of just like bowing down to different patents and all this kind of stuff. But it also may be that they truly feel that they are in the right. I don't feel negative at all about Tim Cook. Like, I feel like he has a mission at Apple. I really don't think he cares about the money. Obviously, he's beholden to the stockholders and trying to make as much money as possible. But I believe that his mass like drive and legacy is two things really. The environment being one big one and health being the other one. Tim Cook has set these two things as his like mission at Apple, is to improve the environment, to try to get Apple to carbon neutral and doing all that kind of stuff. But before that, it was all about health. Like, I think Steve Jobs' death really affected him. He was super close to Steve, and just somebody that you're that close to passing away before their time, like, that affects you. And I feel like that really affected him. And his mission has been to try to do everything possible to improve people's health, improve the information that they get without having to go to doctors, because people hate going to doctors. So Tim Cook has kind of made this his mission to kind of give us enough early warning signs to know when it's like, okay, it's time. It's time to go to the doctor. It's time to get this checked out. Otherwise, you may not live as long, or you could die by the end of the week. I mean, the Apple Watch has saved so many people's lives. This device has been like amazing. And I honestly believe that this push has all been from Tim Cook. So I don't feel like he would really be the kind of guy that wouldn't just go ahead and say, you know what? We did steal this. We stole this technology. We owe them something. We owe them whatever. Here you go. Here's your portion of the sales. Here's your portion of whatever. I just want to make sure that we keep everything going here at Apple and making sure that we're saving lives. Like, I feel like if he felt like he was in the wrong, that's what he would do. I could be wrong. I don't know him personally. I've never met him. I've been in the vicinity of him at developer conferences in the past, but I never met him personally. But that's just kind of the feeling that I get from him, is that his main mission, yes, he's got to make money to complete his mission, but still his main mission is to improve the environment and to improve people's health. And that's what this is all about. That's what that sensor, it does help you know info on your health, and this Massimo company is coming at them strong, and right now they're ahead of the game on them, and Biden's just sleeping. He's just in his winter hibernation, and he just doesn't want to wake up. And I mean, but they've even announced that they are tracking it. Whoever, it's like Catherine something or other, she wrote out about how they are tracking, they are keeping track of this, but they don't want to step in apparently. They don't want to side with either of them. They just want to stay quiet. And it's amazing. Like, I never, ever expected Apple to remove a flagship product from their website over anything like this. And now they have. I'm shocked.